the we commented on issues of importance, if he decides to cut off funding, that's all I can do about that. But we're not going to stop speaking out on issues on behalf of our members because the minister has threatened to cut off our funding. Sorry about that. I think they're good projects. I welcome his scrutiny. When he does scrutinize them, I would hope they will continue them because they're important projects. For example, the element of the crab item, the first item on the list there, with cutbacks in DFO, the federal government stopped doing. We have a post-season crab pot survey, a major project that's a very important, probably the single most important piece of information about the health of our crab stocks, done by fish harvesters after the season's over to try and get a handle on how much, an index relative to previous years, how much crab is out there in the water. And an important element of that was small mesh pots, which are used to get the little critters, so we can get a handle on recruitment potential for future years, which is a very significant part of planning. DFO advised us last year they were cutting out that part of the program because of funding shortfall, and so we went to the province to ask them to help cover off that shortfall, and they made a contribution to it. So that's the kind of stuff I think is important for the province to have that information for the people of the province, certainly for our members. And I would hope that that some kind of political retribution would not cause valuable projects to be scrapped. I always assumed they were being scrutinized before they were approved. They were certainly subject to audit when we submitted bills, and we only got paid after that approval was made. So they'll do what they're going to do with that. I can't control that. I am concerned when I read in the paper that the minister's planning on getting involved in the federal policy review, but whatever recommendations he put forward probably won't come from FFAW suggestions. What does that mean? He's going to recommend something other than the owner-operator and fleet separation policies be maintained and strengthened? I sincerely hope not, particularly not if it's done out of a moment of pique or something, or spite over a political matter. But in any event, that kind of stuff is not. I think it's an overreaction, quite frankly. But really, I'm not interested in a political spat with the Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture. What I'm interested in is getting problems addressed. There's several very pressing ones. Everybody's familiar with the OCI one. Closures of plants are not easy to deal with. People react in anger when that happens. We saw that at the public meeting on Marystown on Sunday. We have the owner-operator one is out there. There's also a very serious problem looming in some of the northern areas, 3K and 2J, with respect to what crab quotas are going to be in place this year. And that's a very serious matter that's hanging over our heads right now. So I think what's needed is to sit down and discuss that stuff, and we'll continue to be available. I mean, on the policy review, I emailed the minister 2 weeks ago, said I'd like to meet you on this stuff. I think there's some important considerations. Gave him a very lengthy email outlining why. I obviously would think that's a very inappropriate way to govern. Is that because what's the message? Is that a message to send to others? Don't mess with us or you get your funding cut off? Because quite frankly, with us, that's not going to work. We're going to do our job as we see fit. We think those are important projects. They have nothing to do with core union operations. We fund that with union dues, and we'll continue just fine without it. There's no for sale sign going on in this building anytime soon. But I would always want to have a constructive working relationship. We tried for a long time. Still interested in having a meeting with the Premier. So far, I haven't been able to get one. So we can only try. I think that in the nature of our industry, the nature of the problems, you're going to have disagreements from time to time. I challenge anyone to look at my remarks on either of those meetings and say that in any way they targeted the provincial government unduly.